Hey, amazing beings. It is Friday, and guess what time it is for? It's time for Free and Clear Fridays with me, Dr. Sarah. Wow. Thank goodness it is Friday, at least in this moment. And if you happen to be watching this in the future, fantastic. If you happen to join me now, fantastic. What else is possible here? And I am aware of so many things showing up. Have you noticed that? What are you noticing? You know, that's what we're here to do on this show, is to get clear of anything that may be heavy for you, limiting you, and to get clear on what it is you would like to maybe choose instead, or even get to choice. You know, so much of the time when we are in the limitation of anything, we really cut ourselves off from our own choice and possibilities. So what would it be like to get freed up? That's funny. Freed up from any limitation that may be present for you right now. So everything that is, let's destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pon poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And that is the clearing statement, from which you can take a look at if you're not familiar with it. I'm going to provide you a link on the IGTV comment section where you can go check out the clearing statement on my website. It is thedrsarahexperience.com. I'll give you that link, and you can go read about the clearing statement, which comes from this amazing systematic tool or systematic, I guess, technique called Access Consciousness. So you notice week to week I use that clearing statement always. So what if we take a moment and tune in to what has been showing up for you? What have you noticed this week? There's certainly a lot going on in the world around us, right? And a lot going on overseas. Of course, we're in the United States here, where I'm located. And, but we are definitely picking up on a lot of things in the world. So anything that you're aware of that may be heavy for you based on that, let's clear that now. Let's first do a return to center with consciousness, everything that is, right? So anything that doesn't belong to you, we can return it with consciousness. Return it with consciousness, return to center with consciousness. And also, let's clear anywhere that it is heavy for you. So everything that is right, wrong, good, bad, pop, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Oh, wow. Amazing how intense some of this can get. So I wonder, what is it that is limiting you? Now, one thing I talked about this week was this idea of what's true for you is light for you. And what's light for you is true for you. And anything that has something heavy attached to it, there are lies attached there. There's untruths. So what would it be like to acknowledge anything that's heavy? Acknowledge the lie there, or the heaviness of the untruth. So everything that brings up, let's destroy and uncreate it all now, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pon poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So when we look at light or heavy, that idea, the concept of light or heavy, what do you notice? What's that like for you? Are you clear on what light is and what heavy is? It's kind of a cool thing to tune into and ask, you know, what am I aware of here? Light, heavy. It's not about things being right and wrong, or good or bad. It's a matter of, okay, what am I aware of? And this idea of the knowing what is light. So it's just about tuning in and getting clear on what that may look like for you. It may be a sensation. It may be a visual that you get with it. It could be, you know, you can gauge it in different ways. I just get an awareness around when something is light for me. There's like an ease. There's something just to be like, yeah, that actually makes sense. That is how I gauge light. And of course, heavy is like, oh my gosh, this is just, wow, intense. It could be like where there's just an awareness of something not being correct or just off. You know, that could be something that's heavy. And as you ask questions around, is this light or heavy, you'll start getting a read on what that could be and what that may look like for you. So anywhere and everything that's confusing about this, if it is confusing for you, let's go ahead and destroy and create all that now, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So to segue for a moment, one thing I'm aware of this week is really getting clear on choices and what reads light for me now, not based on a point of view I had on something before, but based on here and now, what is actually going to be workable here and now for me, with me, and what I'm creating. And so I'm even aware of, like with this Free and Clear Fridays, it's going to be a little shorter today because that's going to fit in better with where I'm going next, which is onto a very cool class. It's almost over actually, how to become money workbook class that Simla Asijin and I have been doing together. We will be providing some more classes here around money and different things with that in the future. We're going to be doing that as well. But I'm really being in the space of question, because there's so many things I desire doing and being that I really have to get clear on which one is now, which one is coming through at this moment. So have you done a little bit of an assessment or a gauge on what that could be for you? Do you find you're overworked or over, creating? Sometimes that can be a little intense, or maybe under creating and you'd like to add something in, something different. Or it could be maybe a relationship that you're in that may be in the midst of changing, or is it time for a change around a certain relationship? Or could it be something with money? When we go into the question, we can get to not only our choices, but we can actually then choose something different. But if we're not clear on what that is, and if we're just stuck in doing the same thing over and over again just because we're supposed to, because somewhere along the way we decided on it, that's not necessarily living consciously. And that's really our aim. If we're living consciously, it allows us to almost be in what we call with this access space of doing 10-second increments. So living in 10-second increments where it takes about 10 seconds to ask a question to get clear on what you could choose. Like, what would I like to choose? That's about 10 seconds from which then I can choose. And I'm choosing to talk to you. How does it get any better? But it takes about 10 seconds to ask that question and then to actually choose. So if you live in 10-second increments, then you don't have to judge what you're choosing. You just get a light or heavy. So this brings us back to the light or heavy, being in the moment, getting a gauge on something. And that's where you may notice that you've had times in your world or in your life where it just changed. You just chose something different. What if you could be in that space all the time? Even if it's to choose to do the same thing you're choosing, if it reads light for you, it's true for you. Choose it. If it's not working for you, I wonder what else is possible now. So what I'm doing here with you right now is being the space of what this could look like for you, right? How you could do it for you. It'll be uniquely, done according to you, but I'm giving you some ideas just in case you're like, what? This is not making any sense to me. And thank God things don't make, sense too much anyways by the cognitive mind much anymore, because, I'm of the proponent that lose your mind. It's a wonderful thing. I lost my mind years ago and it's working so well. So what's there instead is a space to be, a space to choose, the space to create. I notice a lot of times before I get on a live with you, get on, and things leading up to that sometimes are really intense, and I'm noticing like I just want to get on here and do it. But there's this like piece that I always add in to this intensity that I pick up on, and that is allowance. Allow. Because a lot of times we are picking up on other things going on. And right before I came into this live, I was aware of another energy pulling me from another space that someone required of me. And I was there and I was able to manage it, but I didn't know it right before I went on when I was picking up all of this intensity with the live. So you never know how it's going to show up. But instead of me going into, oh my God, like I can't handle this, like what's wrong? Why is this happening right now? Oh my God, I'm so anxious. No, that does not exist in my world. In part, because I'm aware and I don't get into the limitation of what is showing up. I say this with the idea that this can be the same for you. What would it be like just to be aware of all the things going on? You add a little bit of allowance to match your awareness and it gets easier. Okay, it gets easier. So everywhere you haven't allowed your allowance to catch up to your awareness, let's destroy and create all that. Everywhere you're picking up on so much going on around you that doesn't belong to you, let's clear on that. And everywhere that you've been carrying so much around this week that doesn't belong to you, let's destroy and uncreate all that now, please. Whew, right and wrong, good and bad, pon poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Wow. And what I'm aware of too, and you may notice this if you've joined me here before, or if you've picked up on some of the other work I've been doing with the videos and such, that these tools actually work. You know, it actually creates a space from which there's just more ease. You know, this world delivers so much intensity to us and at us, and if we take it on and we go into the limitation, you know, the only thing it's going to limit is you. You're going to be the one suffering in it. There are beings in the world, believe it or not, contrary to popular belief, that like to suffer, okay? Allow them to suffer if that's what they're choosing. You do not have to save the world and go down with it in the midst of it. You can be there, you can be a space, you can be a contribution. But the moment you go into it and you join in the insanity, it's going to create insanity for you. And then you're in a heavy, and then you're in the limitation, and then you lose choice, and then you resent, and then you think it's you, and here we go again. So everything that is, let's just straight uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So I wonder, truly, like, what else is possible now? What else is possible? There's other possibilities available. We just have to get clear on it. And you notice, okay, disclaimer, I do not do Pollyanna. No Pollyanna going on here. There's awareness of lighter. And it's, you know, walking the fine line of positive too. If we try to do positive, like I need to be positive about this, the last thing I'm going to be positive about is that need to be positive of whatever I'm looking to be positive about. So forget positive and negative. We're looking at what's going to lighten this up. It's very pragmatic. It's really to the point of like, yeah, that. So that's what I'm encouraging you to do. That's what I would recommend you to do, is to just be in the space and clear and get clear of whatever's heavy. And sometimes we require even just stepping out of a situation, or I'm choosing to end this right now, whatever this is, whatever's heavy. In this moment, I am done. I'm choosing to no longer watch the news. That could be one example. I'm choosing not to engage in this relationship the same way I did before. I'm choosing to create this over here. Whatever it is, now it's available. And what if you just choose it? Sometimes we just have to choose it, even if it is uncomfortable, okay? And all these concepts sound really good in concept, right? But what would it be like to actually just start choosing it and being it and see what it's like for you? You know, life is meant to be enjoyable. Life is actually meant to be fun. It's really a purpose in life, is to have fun. So what would it be like to be able to be that, even in the midst of this insanely crazy world of ours, right? What if that actually is the way to change it here? be it will change it, rather than try to fight for or against anything. Do you ever notice that doesn't work? Ever? We're not meant to fight against. We're meant to choose what's right for us and go forth. That's where our freedom is in our choice. And when we're in the question, a conscious question will open us up to something that may have not been available there before. It may not come in right in that moment. It may be slightly delayed. It may be like you ask the question now and it doesn't show up until like an hour later, a day later, a week later. Heck, it could be years later. But if you're asking and being in the question, it's shifting, it's changing. And then you add a little bit of clearing onto it, like right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds, or pon pop. It can actually contribute greater. So, what are you noticing? And let's do this right now. Tune into that one thing that's been, or more, it could be more than one thing. But let's take one thing right now that's been heavy for you this week. Let's tune into that. Allow it to come up. And now let's clear that. So everything that is, let's destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good or bad, pon poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yes. So, what would it be like just to be in the awareness of that? Keep clearing it if you require. Every time you clear it, it's never the same. And see what you notice. See what you notice. And what would it be like to go into this space in this day, into the next day, into the next, with more ease, more lightness, and just continue to clear whatever is heavy. All right, amazing beings, we are finishing up early today, and that doesn't mean that we did a potent Free and Clear Friday. So sometimes it's condensed, because I'm in the space of keeping it real, keeping it light, keeping it in the choice, exactly what I'm encouraging you to do and be. All right, have an amazing week, and I will look forward to seeing you again here somewhere next Friday. Sometimes it's at noon, sometimes around more like 2:30. We shall see. But no matter what, you know I have your back, and go forth and be. All right, take care for now.